Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. When I first proposed to my fiancée, I thought that was the happiest day of my life. I had been waiting for that moment for years. And when she said yes, I felt like the luckiest man alive. We had gone through so much together, late-night arguments, tough financial stretches, and family drama. But despite everything, we always came back to each other. That's why I believed our love was strong enough to survive anything. Or at least, I thought so. As the wedding planning began, I realized how stressful it could be. There were so many decisions. The venue, the menu, the music, the guest list. But I didn't mind the stress. In fact, I was excited. Every little detail brought us closer to the big day when we would finally become husband and wife. She was radiant during those planning sessions, glowing with excitement every time she showed me a Pinterest board full of ideas or a color scheme she had in mind. I kept telling myself, this is it. This is the woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. I trusted her completely. But then one evening, she dropped a sentence that left me stunned. We were sitting together on the couch, going over the latest draft of our guest list. She had her laptop open, scrolling through names, making adjustments here and there. Suddenly, she turned to me with a smile and said, as casually as if she were talking about ordering flowers, "Oh, by the way, I invited my ex to the wedding." For a moment, I thought I had misheard her. "Wait, what?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. She repeated it, word for word, without hesitation. "I invited my ex. If you loved me, you'd understand." Her tone was so matter-of-fact that it shook me even more. It wasn't a suggestion. It wasn't a discussion. It was a decision she had already made. I stared at her, my heart pounding in my chest. The words kept echoing in my head like an alarm bell. I invited my ex. If you loved me, you'd understand. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. Calm, firm, and without the slightest sign of hesitation. I swallowed hard and tried to keep my composure. "You invited your ex? To our wedding?" She looked at me as though I were being unreasonable. "Yes, we're still friends, and I don't see the problem. He was a big part of my past, and I wanted to see how happy I am now. Besides, it would be rude not to include him when we still talk occasionally." I blinked in disbelief. Rude? To him? What about me? This is our wedding, not a reunion for people you used to date. Her expression hardened. "See, this is exactly what I mean. If you love me, you would understand that he's just a friend now. I don't have feelings for him anymore. Why can't you trust me?" The way she twisted it around made my stomach churn. Somehow, I was being made to feel guilty for even questioning it. But I couldn't shake the thought. Why was it so important to her that he be there? Why was she willing to fight with me over this? That night turned into the first real, serious fight we had ever had about our relationship. I told her honestly, "I don't feel comfortable with this. It feels disrespectful to me. It feels like you're bringing a ghost from the past into our future." She rolled her eyes, frustrated. "You're overreacting. It's not like I'm asking him to sit at the head table or something. He's just another guest." "Another guest?" I repeated, try to hold back my anger. "Another guest who used to sleep next to you, who used to call you his, who was a part of your life in ways no one else was. You can't just say that doesn't matter." Instead of understanding, she crossed her arms and said quietly, "Maybe you're not as secure as I thought." That sentence cut deeper than anything else. In the days that followed, the air between us grew tense. Every time we returned to wedding planning, I couldn't stop thinking about him, her ex, lurking in the background of everything. I imagined him sitting in the audience, watching her walk down the aisle toward me. I imagined his smirk, his whispered conversations, his judgmental eyes. I even imagined the whispers of other guests. Why is he here? Why would she invite him? The thought consumed me. I tried to bring it up again, calmly, gently. "Listen, I need to tell you how serious this feels to me. I don't want him at our wedding. It hurts me. Please, can you respect that?" But instead of empathy, she sighed heavily and said, "Why are you making this such a big deal? You're supposed to trust me." "Trust isn't the issue. I said, my voice trembling. Respect is respect for me, for our marriage, for the boundaries we should have as a couple. I would never invite my ex to our wedding, out of respect for you. Her silence was deafening. The final straw came 2 weeks before the wedding. I discovered, through a mutual friend, that not only had she invited him, but she had already confirmed his attendance. He had RSVP'd yes. She hadn't even told me. When I confronted her, she brushed it off. I didn't think it mattered. He already said he'd come. Why are you so obsessed with this? My voice cracked as I replied, because this isn't just about him. It's about us. You chose his comfort over my peace of mind. You chose to push me aside when I begged you to hear me. Her face fell for the first time. She realized I wasn't just angry anymore. I was broken. We sat across from each other at the kitchen table, the weight of silence between us. I finally said the words I had been afraid to admit. If you can't respect this boundary, then maybe we're not ready for marriage. Because marriage is about compromise, about putting each other first. And right now, I don't feel like you're putting me first. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she tried to fight them back. Are you really saying you'd call off the wedding over this? I looked down at my hands, shaking. I'm saying I don't want to start a marriage built on disrespect and manipulation. You told me, if you loved me, you'd understand. But love goes both ways. If you loved me, you wouldn't have forced this on me. The silence stretched on for what felt like hours. Finally, she whispered, I'll uninvite him. But it was too late. Even though she eventually gave in, something inside me had shifted. I no longer felt the same trust, the same security, the same certainty I once had about us. It wasn't just about the ex anymore. It was about the fact that she was willing to hurt me, manipulate me, and dismiss my feelings for the sake of her past. I couldn't ignore that. So, a week before the wedding, I made the hardest decision of my life. I told her I couldn't go through with it. Her reaction was explosive. Anger, tears, begging, denial. She promised she'd change, that it was just a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. But I stood firm. I loved her, but I loved myself too. And I knew deep down that starting a marriage with someone who would twist my love into guilt wasn't the kind of future I wanted. It's been months since then, and I still think about it. Sometimes I question myself. Did I overreact? Did I throw away a future over something that could have been solved with compromise? But then I remember the look in her eyes when she said those words. If you loved me, you'd understand. That wasn't love. That was manipulation. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is respectful. Love doesn't demand that you swallow your boundaries to prove yourself. And so I walked away. It hurt. It still hurts. But I know in my heart it was the right choice. Because the truth is, when someone shows you what love means to them, you need to believe them.